The first December auction of the FXD1 2023-10 and FXD1 2018-20 has just concluded today, 3rd December. This auction sought to collect a total of 25 billion from the two bonds, but out of the auction it has received a ridiculous oversubscription of 71 billion Kenya shillings. Out of those total received bids, the CBK has accepted a total of 53.4 billion, amounting to 214% of what the government was seeking through issuance of these two bonds. We are waiting to see how the public court of opinion will conclude over that generous acceptance of bids amounting to 214%, which means that the total amount that the government sought from the two auctions of the FXD1 2023-10 and FXD1 2018-20 together with the FXD1 2024-10, in total the government is looking for 45 billion, where 25 billion was to come from the just concluded first auction, while the balance of 20 billion was to come from the second auction of FXD1 2024-10. This oversubscription and over-acceptance of bids means that the government has just accepted an amount that is even more than the 45 billion that it sought from these two auctions. The FXD1 2023-10 realized an amount of 47.3 billion worth of bids, out of which 34.9 billion was accepted, consisting of 29.4 billion of competitive bids and 5.4 billion of non-competitive bids. That means that a total of 13 billion from bids on FXD1 2023-10 were rejected. That massive acceptance of the bids was to manage the weighted average yields of the auction, which stood at 14.8638, and that was managed through acceptance and rejections to a lower value of 14.6913, which yielded a dirty price of 102 shillings 0.0461 per 100. That means that these bonds FXD1 2023-10 yielded a clean price of 97 shillings 0.4198 per 100, on which the accrued interest was added, which amounted to 4.6263 per 100, yielding the given price of 102 shillings. That means that for every this bond was issued at a discount, considering the interest rate, the market interest rate that was considered, that must have been the 13.8993%, which existed at the time of issuance of this bond. On the second bond, that is the FXD1 2018-20, the total bids that were received amounted to 23.9 billion. Out of which 18.4 billion was accepted, consisting of 12.6 billion worth of competitive bids and 5.8 billion from non-competitive bidders, which means that 5 billion bids from the FXD1 2018-20 were rejected. That was to micromanage the weighted market average over the yield for FXD1 2018-20, which resorted to 15.2712 down to 15.1121, which was the market yield of the accepted bid. That is stood at a price of 92.1645 as the dirty price on the issue, and it means that then the market realized a clean price of 92.1643 per 100, onto which the accrued interest of 3.0462 was added to the auction yielded a clean price of 89.1183, onto which the accrued interest of 3.0462 was added to realize their dirty price of 92.1643, which is the price that we are paying per 100 for accepted bids on FXD1 2018-20. That also means that these bond, the FXD1 2018-20, which had a coupon of 13.2% compared to the market interest rate of 13.89%, yielded an issued discount of 11 shillings per 100. That was a massive discount on the second bond, and this will translate to an increased price in the secondary market, and perhaps this points to a second reopening of this bond in the early 2025. As a conclusion, these auction yielded a total of over 214% of what was sought, that is the 53.4 billion compared to the 25 billion that CBK was looking for, and on issue of or application of that amount, 44.8 billion out of the 53.4 billion has been used on a redemption of previous domestic debts, while the 8.579 has gone as new debt to the government. We'll be waiting to see what happens in the second auction on the FXD1 2024-10, but before then, you are supposed to clear payments for your successful bids on the FXD1 2023-10 and the FXD1 2018-20 by 9th December, which is on Monday. And as always, we have said all value dates for issuance of bids, bonds, and treasury bills are always on a Monday, and also redemptions for matured instruments happen on a Monday. Thank you for watching.